Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us is Sara Mehle, Index Research Strategist at Nasdaq Global Indexes. She joins us for Financial Literacy Month, which takes place each April, to discuss what an index is and how investors can use them to measure the temperature of the market. Sara, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks, and let's look at a broader index overview with our flagship index, the Nasdaq 100.
Hey, Jill. Yeah, so for this Financial Literacy Month, today I wanted to just kick things off with a review of the Nasdaq 100 Index and what the Nasdaq 100 Index is, when did it start, and was it really used for. So just to go over some of the basics, for someone that didn't have any idea what the Nasdaq 100 is, it's simply a basket of stocks, the top 100 non-financial stocks listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. It started back in 1985, January of 85. And these names are able to refresh them once a year. So you can think of those names kind of going through our screen. What are the top 100 non-financial stocks listed at that time? So we're able to kind of stay current with, keep our thermometer current, if you will. So you can think of the Nasdaq 100 Index as a thermometer for the broader market, or even just a representative of the technology sector, growth stocks, and the way that we look at that is if the index is going up, so if it's rising, that's indicative of a healthy market environment. We're bullish then. If overall we're seeing things decline, it might be a red flag or yellow flag, and we're not looking necessarily at today's performance or yesterday, but we're able to measure different amounts of time.
And just like stocks, it has a symbol, and in this case, it's NDX.
Yes, so NDX, if you ever see just the symbols, or the symbol NDX, that is the same thing as the Nasdaq 100. Just like a stock or an ETF has a ticker, indexes have tickers as well that we use. So NDX is the same thing as the Nasdaq 100 index or the Nasdaq 100. You cannot buy an index, you cannot invest directly in an index, but you can buy an index a fund that tracks an index. So here in the United States, one of the more popular funds that does track the NDX is the Invesco QQQ Trust, ticker QQQ. And then I just want to bring to your attention the basket that I have on the image here. Those are actually the top 12 stocks right now by weight in the Nasdaq 100 Index. So you can see we have a nice mix there of tech. We also have things outside of tech. We have Amazon, we have some consumer discretionary, we have Costco on there. So a nice diverse mix. And again, we're able to use this as a gauge for how things are going overall.
How can you leverage an index to take the temperature of the market?
Yeah, so we're looking at performance, right? That's what we're going to use here to kind of take the temperature of the market. And like I said, you don't necessarily need to look every day, every week, but you can really adjust what time period that you're looking at depending on what you're trying to analyze, what period of time you're trying to take the temperature, if you will. And so year to date, that's one of the more popular kind of look backs. And now that we're a full quarter into the year, I think that's a fair measurement. So year to date, so starting December 31st of 2022 through yesterday's close, April 13th, the Nasdaq 100 Index is up 19.8%. So that in itself, I mean, that's a double-digit gain. That is nice. But when you compare that to other indexes or other sectors, that's when you're able to kind of tell more of a story. So year to date, when we compare that 19.8% to the S&P 500, S&P 500 through yesterday's close is up 8%, and then the Dow is up 2.7%. So the Nasdaq 100 outpacing both of those other indexes that some use to measure, the overall health of the market. And so that's 11% more than the S&P and more than 17% now above the Dow. And then for taking it one step further, we can slice and dice the market all sorts of ways. But one kind of basic comparison too is if you think of taking all the stocks and categorizing them into sectors. So we can look at the performance of the Nasdaq 100 Index versus other sectors and other sector indexes or even other sector funds. So we looked at financials, consumer staples, and consumer discretionary. And I think, that 19.8% again, indicator of the overall market, but also technology and growth. Financials down almost 5%. Consumer staples 1.5% and consumer discretionary 13.6%. So just by comparing, we're able to see, that this year, we're on a roll right now. And I put a little bull in the top right corner when there's positive sentiment where things are going up, we stay bullish. taking it back to the basics. So I think, right now, like I said, first quarter into the year, this is nice to see, especially after some record setting years, and just kind of the weakness we saw last year. This is really refreshing to see. So again, using the Nasdaq 100 index to just measure overall market conditions, and again, comparing it to those other broad market benchmarks really tells the story.
All right. Appreciate the insight. Sarah, thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Market Reporter at Nasdaq.